Hey guys, welcome back. I am doing my video a little bit early today because I am going to my first church event tonight and I'm very excited. Um, you know, Back last year, in the later part of the year, God was signaling and telling me it was time to go to church. It was hard for me at first, um, but I finally went and I've been going regularly now every Sunday. And I go to the church that my husband's family all goes to. So I know lots of people. The only downside is it's a Spanish speaking church. Um, and I'm not fluent in Spanish. So luckily, though, during the sermon part of church, my sister in law, her husband actually translates in English the sermon part of it. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. But anyways, so it's been going good, and I know that, one of the reasons God's been wanting me to go to church is, to meet people who are also, believers and have faith and read the Bible, Christians, like real Christians though, like people who really live their life by God, who really like have him in their life and who are like good people and would be good people to have in my life. And there's a lot of people I know my age that speak also English, so they're bilingual. And eventually, I'm currently trying to learn Spanish, so eventually I'll be bilingual too. But so this is just going to be like one step in a direction of creating new connections, creating new friends, creating new groups of people. And I'm just really I'm really, really looking forward to it because as blessed as I am to be a stay at home mom, because I really am, I'm very blessed. I thank God all the time how blessed and grateful I am to Him that I'm able to stay home full time and take care of my daughter. But I'd be lying if I didn't say sometimes it can be depressing staying inside all day, being around no one, not getting out in the world, not getting to go do anything, you know, um, go places where I can dress up a little bit, do my hair, socialize. I love being around other people. I love socializing. I love talking to people. And so I'm just really, really excited to go tonight, be around other people, take pictures, feel the love, eat some good food, socialize. There's going to be games. It's also not a charity, but what's the word I'm looking for? They're raising money for the youth of the church. So pay per couple as well, $50. And so it's just all around a really good event, and I'm very excited. And so I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very excited. So getting to know new people and stuff, it's always a little nerve-wracking when you first start. So, but I'm excited. I feel like this year is going to bring really good things, and um, I'm just really excited with even just in the few short months that I've brought God into my life. I'm really just happy with the direction that He's taking my life, and I'm just really excited to see where it goes. So, yes. Anyways, so that's why I'm doing my video early today because I feel like, it's still important to make time for God every day. And you know, He wants me to continue to make these videos and read the Bible every day. And I'm not going to, put that aside because He's blessed me enough with this out evening tonight. And so I feel like, you know, it's important still to, adjust your schedule every day to still make time for Him and pray and spend time with Him and read the Bible. So that's what I'm doing. So let's get into today's chapters. I did not listen to today's chapters while I recorded because my husband was asleep. So I didn't have the volume on. So I am just as new to these chapters as you are if this is your first time reading the Bible too. If it's not, then let's get into it. Either way, both people. Newcomers, new Bible readers, and experienced Bible readers, I welcome all. I welcome everyone.
In the spring of the year, at the time when kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the people of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem. Then it happened one evening that David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful to behold. So David sent and inquired about the woman. And someone said, "Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?" Then David sent messengers and took her. And she came to him, and he lay with her, for she was cleansed from her impurity. And she returned to her house. And the woman conceived. So she sent and told David and said, "I am with child." Then David sent to Joab, saying, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." And Joab sent Uriah to David. When Uriah had come to him, David asked how Joab was doing, and how the people were doing, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." So Uriah departed from the king's house, and a gift of food from the king followed him. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and did not go down to his house. So when they told David, saying, "Uriah did not go down to his house," David said to Uriah, "Did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house?" And Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel and Judah are dwelling in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go to my house to eat and drink, and to lie with my wife? As you live, and as your soul lives, I will not do this thing." Then David said to Uriah, "Wait here today also, and tomorrow I will let you depart." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. Now when David called him, he ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk. And at evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but he did not go down to his house. In the morning it happened that David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, "Set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retreat from him, that he may be struck down and die." So it was, while Joab besieged the city, that he assigned Uriah to a place where he knew there were valiant men. Then the men of the city came out and fought with Joab, and some of the people of the servants of David fell, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and charged the messenger, saying, "When you have finished telling the matters of the war to the king, if it happens that the king's wrath rises, and he says to you, 'Why did you approach so near to the city when you fought? Did you not know that they would shoot from the wall? Who struck Abimelech the son of Jerubbesheth? Was it not a woman who cast a piece of a millstone on him from the wall, so that he died in Thebez? Why did you go near the wall?' Then you shall say, 'Your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also.'" So the messenger went and came and told David all that Joab had sent by him. And the messenger said to David, "Surely the men prevailed against us, and came out to us in the field. Then we drove them back as far as the entrance of the gate. The archers shot from the wall at your servants, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also." Then David said to the messenger, "Thus you shall say to Joab, 'Do not let this thing displease you, for the sword devours one as well as another. Strengthen your attack against the city and overthrow it.' So encourage him." When the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when her mourning was over, David sent and brought her to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord.
Well, yeah, he had someone killed just so that he could take his wife. Like, what? I was just telling someone this earlier in one of my previous videos recently. He comments on my videos all the time. Shout out to you. Really appreciate you, by the way. And he was saying like how, King David, there's a lot of like darkness and brutalness and barbaricness that happened back in the day. And I feel like there's not a lot of people that talk about that stuff. They don't talk about the actual reality and darkness that happened in these stories in the Bible. And I see so many people talk about King David like before I even have been reading this story. I've, seen people talk about King David from the Bible and how they like idolize him and he's so great. And I've even seen a YouTube channel where the person's like handle was like at King David something something. And this whole entire time that I've been reading King David's story, at the beginning I was like, okay, not so bad. And then over time I'm like, oh my god, why do people like idolize him so much? He has killed so many people. He has had multiple wives, which is not condoned by God. He was following, what the norm was at that time, even though God didn't want that. And I mean, and he's, just to me, I just don't see him as like this like great amazing person. Yeah, it's a good story because it shows what happens when you follow like God's orders and then what you when you don't follow being, the way that God wants you to do. Like obviously clearly here it had displeased the Lord that he had someone killed so that he could take their wife. That's horrible. That's horrible. He has enough wives. He doesn't need any more just because she was beautiful and he saw her bathing. Oh, I want her, and then I got her pregnant by accident. And here we are, I'm going to kill her husband so I can take her as my wife and have another freaking child because he doesn't have enough. I just I'm sorry. I know I'm like, why am I so upset? But I find it so a little frustrating that King David is talked about like this amazing like person and so idolized. Honestly, if I was to idolize anyone so far in the Bible that I've read, it would be Moses. Moses to me has been the one that has been the best servant of God so far, in my opinion. And I think that that's why Moses was so blessed that he was the only person that got to have that special connection with God. He actually got to spend time with God for like, what was it, 40 days or something like that, where um, it was like, I think it was 40 days or something like that. Anyways, up in that mountain where he got to spend time with God, um, and making the like rules and all that. Anyways, I don't understand it. I don't understand why people are so like, oh yeah, King David. Like, yeah, he's done good things, but he's also done really bad things and he's killed like a lot of people. And I know that a lot of the people like were like enemies of God and of the Israelites, and God like commanded him, to like, you know, to get rid of these people and stuff, but like at the same time it's like I'm not a huge fan of King David, and I don't understand why everyone's like why some people are so like idolized of him. Like I don't get it. And the fact that he killed intentionally killed someone's husband just so that he could have his wife when he's already had multiple wives and children. It just it's just another thing that I just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I mean, I haven't read the whole Bible. That's just how I feel about it. But if you disagree, no problem. Let me know your thoughts.
Then the Lord sent Nathan to David, and he came to him and said to him, There were 2 men in one city, one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceedingly many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing, except one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished, and it grew up together with him and with his children. It ate of his own food, and drank from his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and it was like a daughter to him. And a traveler came to the rich man, who refused to take from his own flock, and from his own herd, to prepare one for the wayfaring man who had come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb, and prepared it for the man who had come to him. So David's anger was greatly aroused against the man, and he said to Nathan, As the Lord lives, the man who has done this shall surely die. And he shall restore 4-fold for the lamb, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. Then Nathan said to David, You are the man. Thus says the Lord God of Israel, I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you from the hand of Saul. I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your keeping, and gave you the house of Israel and Judah. And if that had been too little, I also would have given you much more. Why have you despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight? You have killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword. You have taken his wife to be your wife, and have killed him with the sword of the people of Ammon. Now therefore, the sword shall never depart from your house, because you have despised me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus says the Lord, Behold, I will raise up adversity against you from your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes, and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this sun. For you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel, before the sun. So David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said to David, The Lord also has put away your sin. You shall not die. However, because by this deed you have given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also who is born to you shall surely die. Then Nathan departed to his house. And the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife bore to David, and it became ill. David therefore pleaded with God for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night on the ground. So the elders of his house arose and went to him, to raise him up from the ground. But he would not, nor did he eat food with them. Then on the 7th day it came to pass that the child died. And the servants of David were afraid to tell him that the child was dead. For they said, Indeed, while the child was alive, we spoke to him, and he would not heed our voice. How can we tell him that the child is dead? He may do some harm. When David saw that his servants were whispering, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said to his servants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. So David arose from the ground, washed and anointed himself, and changed his clothes. And he went into the house of the Lord and worshipped. Then he went to his own house, and when he requested, they set food before him, and he ate. Then his servants said to him, What is this that you have done? You fasted and wept for the child while he was alive. But when the child died, you arose and ate food. And he said, While the child was alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, Who can tell whether the Lord will be gracious to me, that the child may live? But now he is dead. Why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. Then David comforted Bathsheba his wife, and went in to her and lay with her. So she bore a son, and he called his name Solomon. Now the Lord loved him, and he sent word by the hand of Nathan the prophet, So he called his name Jedediah, because of the Lord.
See, that's one thing that I don't like is the fact that God punished David through the child. I just like why did he have to use the child? The child was innocent. I mean, why did he have to use the poor child to punish David? Like he couldn't have punished David another way? That I don't understand. I don't understand that. And I don't like that. I mm, mm.
Now Joab fought against Rabbah of the people of Ammon, and took the royal city. And Joab sent messengers to David and said, I have fought against Rabbah, and I have taken the city's water supply. Now therefore, gather the rest of the people together, and encamp against the city and take it, lest I take the city, and it be called after my name. So David gathered all the people together, and went to Rabbah, fought against it, and took it. Then he took their king's crown from his head. Its weight was a talent of gold, with precious stones, and it was set on David's head. Also, he brought out the spoil of the city in great abundance, and he brought out the people who were in it, and put them to work with saws, and iron picks, and iron axes, and made them cross over to the brickworks. So he did to all the cities of the people of Ammon. Then David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. After this, Absalom, the son of David, had a lovely sister, whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. Amnon was so distressed over his sister Tamar that he became sick, for she was a virgin, and it was improper for Amnon to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shimeah, David's brother. Now Jonadab was a very crafty man, and he said to him, Why are you, the king's son, becoming thinner day after day? Will you not tell me? Amnon said to him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. So Jonadab said to him, Lie down on your bed and pretend to be ill. And when your father comes to see you, say to him, Please let my sister Tamar come and give me food, and prepare the food in my sight, that I may see it and eat it from her hand. Then Amnon lay down and pretended to be ill. And when the king came to see him, Amnon said to the king, Please let Tamar my sister come and make a couple of cakes for me in my sight, that I may eat from her hand. And David sent home to Tamar, saying, Now go to your brother Amnon's house, and prepare food for him. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was lying down. Then she took flour and kneaded it, made cakes in his sight, and baked the cakes. And she took the pan and placed them out before him, but he refused to eat. Then Amnon said, Have everyone go out from me. And they all went out from him. Then Amnon said to Tamar, Bring the food into the bedroom, that I may eat from your hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them to Amnon her brother in the bedroom. Now when she had brought them to him to eat, he took hold of her and said to her, Come, lie with me, my sister. But she answered him, No, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing should be done in Israel. Do not do this disgraceful thing. And I, where could I take my shame? And as for you, you would be like one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore, please speak to the king, for he will not withhold me from you. However, he would not heed her voice, and being stronger than she, he forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred with which he hated her was greater than the love with which he had loved her. And Amnon said to her, Arise, be gone. So she said to him, No, indeed, this evil of sending me away is worse than the other that you did to me. But he would not listen to her. Then he called his servant who attended him and said, "Here, put this woman out away from me, and bolt the door behind her." Now she had on a robe of many colors, for the king's virgin daughters wore such apparel. And his servant put her out, and bolted the door behind her. Then Tamar put ashes on her head, and tore her robe of many colors that was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went away crying bitterly. And Absalom, her brother, said to her, "Has Amnon your brother been with you? But now hold your peace, my sister. He is your brother. Do not take this thing to heart." So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very angry. And Absalom spoke to his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon, because he had forced his sister Tamar. And it came to pass, after 2 full years, that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal Hazor, which is near Ephraim. So Absalom invited all the king's sons. Then Absalom came to the king and said, "Kindly note, your servant has sheep shearers. Please, let the king and his servants go with your servant." But the king said to Absalom, "No, my son, let us not all go now, lest we be a burden to you." Then he urged him, but he would not go, and he blessed him. Then Absalom said, "If not, please let my brother Amnon go with us." And the king said to him, "Why should he go with you?" But Absalom urged him. So he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, "Watch now, when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say to you, 'Strike Amnon,' then kill him. Do not be afraid. Have I not commanded you, 'Be courageous and valiant'?" So the servants of Absalom did to Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and each one got on his mule and fled. And it came to pass, while they were on the way, that news came to David, saying, "Absalom has killed all the king's sons, and not one of them is left." So the king arose and tore his garments, and lay on the ground, and all his servants stood by with their clothes torn. Then Jonadab, the son of Shimeah, David's brother, answered and said, "Let not my lord suppose they have killed all the young men, the king's sons, for only Amnon is dead. For by the command of Absalom, this has been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore, let not my lord the king take the thing to his heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead, for only Amnon is dead." Then Absalom fled, and the young man who was keeping watch lifted his eyes and looked, and there many people were coming from the road on the hillside behind him. And Jonadab said to the king, "Look, the king's sons are coming. As your servant said, so it is." So it was, as soon as he had finished speaking, that the king's sons indeed came, and they lifted up their voice and wept. Also the king and all his servants wept very bitterly. But Absalom fled, and went to Talmai the son of Ammihud, king of Geshur. And David mourned for his son every day. So Absalom fled, and went to Geshur, and was there 3 years. And King David longed to go to Absalom, for he had been comforted concerning Amnon, because he was dead.
My God. First of all, when Amnon was first talking about his sister Tamar, it seemed like he loved her, but instead he was just like wanted to rape her. Oy, what happened there? Like, I feel like it just went from 0 to 100 like stupid quick. And like and what was and I what is with today's chapters? Oh my God. Like, and I mean, Amnon got what was coming to him, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like it's for us humans to make these decisions on who should die for what sins and whatnot. That's God's decision. That's God's judgment. That's God's doing. Like, I don't feel like it's up to us to choose, okay, you did this, so you deserve to die. Like, and the fact that he like, it seemed like at first like he was in love with her, and then he rapes her, and then all of a sudden after he's done raping her, he hates her, forces her out, and tells his servant to lock and bolt the door after her. Horrible. What in the world? Like, ugh. And I really would love to know what God is trying to tell us there, because I feel like it's really like, I feel like he's trying to tell us something with the fact that he was in love with her, wanted to have sex with her, you know, manipulated her and deceived her into coming into his bedroom and then saying, hey, have sex with me. No, she doesn't want to. So then he forces her. And then immediately after he's done, it says that he hates her now and despises her. I feel like there's something there. Like there's something God's trying to like tell us with that specific part of the story. Um, I'm gonna have to pray about that because I would love to know what he's trying to say there, because I just feel like that's too. There's something there. He's trying to tell us something. But anyways, today's chapters were very riveting. My goodness, my goodness. Oh, well, I'm very excited to read tomorrow's chapters. Not excited like I'm liking all the things that are happening. That's not what I mean. What I mean is like I've gotten to a point now where I'm starting to slowly want to read the Bible every day, instead of it seeming like a chore, instead of it seeming like, okay, forcing myself. It's slowly evolving into me looking forward to it, regardless of what's going on in the stories at the time. I'm starting to look forward to it more. I'm starting to see it more as, okay, yes, I'm going to read the Bible and I want to, versus it being like a chore and forcing myself to. And it's finally starting to feel like that. And so it's nice. It's nice to feel that way now, because for a long time it has felt like a chore, and sometimes it still does, but it's slowly progressing and evolving. So that's really nice. So, okay, guys. Well, I am going to take advantage of my daughter still sleeping and start getting ready for the Valentine's Day church event tonight. So I'm very excited. And, I hope that I'm able to socialize with some people. And my husband is bilingual, so if there's anything I need translation with, he can help me out. But like I said, most of the people are bilingual, so there's no issue with that. But there is one thing my sister-in-law told me, was that the pastor is going to do like a quick little like sermon type thing to all the couples, like once everyone's seated and stuff, to talk about like marriage and stuff. And but I don't think my sister-in-law's husband is going to translate. I think he's going to be seated for this. So I'm a little bummed because I'm not going to entirely know what he's going to be saying, because he is going to say it in Spanish. But my husband will be there, so he'll tell me, hopefully, um, anything pertinent that I need to know. But I'm more excited for him to go, because my husband definitely needs to find his way back to God. And he promised me that he would go to church with me tomorrow. So I'm also very excited about that, because he doesn't have to work tomorrow night. So he promised me that he would come to church. So things are good. Things are going in a really good direction. And I'm very happy that this past like week or so where I was really struggling to continue, I'm very, very happy that I pushed past that and pushed past all those obstacles and persevered, because um, I'm definitely feeling better. And a big part of that was also praying and asking God for help, to not quit, helping me, asking him to help me stay on the path to him, helping me to not give up, to not stray from him, to not stray from this path he's taking me down. And I mean, he really came through. So thank you. Okay, guys. Well, we'll let you guys know tomorrow how the event went tonight. Wish me luck, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.